guys, so I bet you can't guess what I'm about to say. Today I have another Homesense haul for you. Now, this time is a bit different. These are kind of bigger items from Homesense. I have two things. One thing I bought in store, one thing I got shipped. And I'm not very pleased with Parcel Force because they did actually break my item. But I thought I'd still share them with you because they are gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. And they're both kind of like very vintagey and big and Halloween-y. I just feel like you need to see them. So I feel like today is going to be a day of me like trying to lean back to get everything in shot. But the first thing I got was a wreath. Oh my god, I love this so much. So I went into my Homesense. It had been about a week. I had very big like withdrawal symptoms. I didn't really know what to do with myself. I was like looking outside thinking, I wish I was at Homesense. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Homesense. I'm going to see what's there. I'm just going to look around. And I walked in. First off, the Halloween section wasn't there. So I freaked out. And they'd moved it to a bigger section. So I was fine with that. And then I looked around and pretty much saw everything which I had seen already. So I was like, yes, normal stuff. And then I saw these. So this is like a wooden wreath. It is just like a wooden board. And it is covered in these kind of vintage depictions. Now, if any of you have been here for like more than 5 seconds, you'll know that this here is my favourite ever like Halloween thing in the world. It is a little pumpkin with a little black cat coming out with green eyes. And there is actually 2 of them. There's one there as well. First off, I knew I was going to buy this. Like, I didn't even care what price it was. I was like, I'm going to buy this. And then I was straight on the phone to my friend Will, straight on my phone to the Midnight Crafter, and I bought 2 more and I shipped them off, which ended up being really like tricky to do. When I saw these, I just knew I had to like share the love. So this is like a wooden wreath. It has a hole drilled in the top with a black string so that you can hang it up. Now this is very like Bethany Lowe style. Now Bethany Lowe, if you don't know, is like a designer. She designs lots of Halloween-y things and they're all so amazing. But of course, along with these like designery design pieces, they usually come with a slightly higher price tag. Now this cost me £14.99, which I didn't think was too bad for the fact that it's like literally, I think it was 55 centimeters across. I was like, whoa. Anyway, it does look very much like her like pieces. She is like creating very similar pieces to this. However, this is the company designed by Kathy. These are not like an extortionate price, and these definitely aren't Bethany Lowe pieces. Just wanted to get that out there in case any of you end up going over to eBay to try and buy one of these. If you want one, let me know and I'll see if I can pick you up one in the store. I think postage was £8 and still that is way cheaper than what they want on eBay for it. So let's go into the details. So up here it has 2 little kids and they're reading a book that says Ye Ghost Stories, which is very exciting. And then I also did want to mention there are little flecks of glitter all the way through these, and the glitter does come off quite a lot, which is slightly annoying, but I know once this is on the wall it's not gonna really be an issue. It has the little cat and the pumpkin thing that I love so much. It has this kind of pumpkin man that looks suspiciously like a snowman with a basket on his head, but whatever, he still looks great. There is a little crow flying there in the background. There is a little kid hiding in a very happy looking pumpkin. There's another little crow, or like maybe it's a raven, looking up here at the bottom. There's a little owl kind of judging him from the side, and then you have a big happy moon face. I love my happy moon faces. Another owl here, and then a little girl in a witch's costume, and a little swallow flying off on the side. And then we go to my favourite cat in a pumpkin, my favourite thing in the world ever. And then there is a kind of pumpkin scarecrow. It's just wearing like a white sheet. I guess it could almost be like a pumpkin ghost costume almost. And then it has a little owl here sitting on a very happy looking pumpkin. There's a little child holding a pumpkin with a hat, a big smiling pumpkin, and sitting on the top of it is this witch, and she's holding a broomstick, and she has a little cat next to her, and she is actually on a crescent moon. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there is a crescent moon going on around there in the background. And then there is an owl, another crow or a raven, a little cheeky cat hiding back there, and another smiley pumpkin, and we finish off with another little owl. And hopefully you can see right there, there is a hole drilled through which has this string. So I just think this is such an awesome piece. I honestly haven't seen wreaths like this before, although I have been informed by the Midnight Crafter that they did bring out a Christmas version. Not that I care about the Christmas version, but just so you know, this isn't like the only one that they've ever made. And it does just have like a black backing to it. It is quite thick. It doesn't like bend at all. I was really worried about shipping these just in case they snapped, but honestly it feels like quite like a nice sturdy piece of wood, or maybe it's like an MDF. Just like hoping that Parcel Force are going to look after those parcels, not like they did with the thing I'm about to show you. So I was really pleased with that. They do have another design which is just like loads of big pumpkins with black cats crawling up them, and I really like it. Like, I can't put into words how much I love it. But out of the two, I preferred this one, and I knew I wouldn't have any space for this one as it is, so I thought getting another one this size would just be kind of a disaster. I still don't know where I'm going to put this. I think I'm going to have to rearrange my wall over there in the corner, but it was too hard to pass up just because, well, it's gorgeous. So let me talk to you about this next item. First off, I saw this in someone's picture and I think I almost fainted. I was so like, I needed it. Second off, I figured it would be like my pumpkin witch. I thought it was going to be this size. So when I found out it was like this size, I was kind of shocked, but then at the same time I wanted it more, and then at the same time I was also like, that's going to make it very hard to fit in my room. But alas, I'm sure I can find a space for it. Anyway, I was calling up HomeSense. I was emailing HomeSense. I even Facebooked HomeSense. I was trying to see if they could like get it into my local store, and they basically said no. So I put out a thing on Instagram asking if anyone lived near the shop that I knew had it, and one of you lovely people who goes by the name of the Western Woods on Instagram found it, and they offered to get it for me and ship it to me, and I was so grateful. Like, I was actually like almost in tears. I was so happy. At that time, HomeSense had actually closed, and she got there the next day for opening time, which is just so good of her because she was able to pick me up one of these. Now, if I'd realised it was this big, I probably wouldn't have asked her to get it because it must have been so inconvenient for her to carry around. But I have to thank her like no end for getting it for me. So she wrapped it all up in so much bubble wrap. I have never seen so much bubble wrap in my life, but in a really big box because of all the bubble wrap and because of the size of it. And then when I got it today, I opened it up, and apparently Parcel Force had dropped it, and 2 of the wheels are smashed and a bit of the ghost is smashed. So I spent about an hour this afternoon gluing it all back together, although there are still holes in it where I've like lost bits in the packaging, and also like a lot of it just kind of turned to dust. So I'm gonna have to apologise now because it is a faulty item, but I still love it. I still think it is gorgeous, and I'm still gonna keep it on display. It's just gonna be a little bit broken. So bear with me because it's very heavy and I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to pick it up. So this is my pumpkin carriage. Now I'm probably going to have to angle the camera down because this is a very heavy piece. I think this is probably about the same size as the big pumpkin with the black cat on, which I showed you a couple of videos ago. So I'm going to first off show you the bits that broke just so that you know. So right here on the ghost, you can probably see its arm has a little black bit missing. That's where his hand kind of crumbled, and it's kind of missing a bit on the back as well. And also this wheel here kind of cracked, and as you can see I've sort of put it together, but there's still a few kind of holes and gaps. I am planning to kind of paint over the cracks so they're not like quite so evident, but as I said, this literally happened today, so I haven't got around to painting it yet. And then the wheel at the back is kind of completely broke, but it is at the back, so I'm kind of not so worried about it. Now, of course I'm disappointed with Parcel Force that they broke it, but it could have been a lot worse. At least I was able to kind of fix it to the point where I'm still kind of happy to have it on display, and it's not like a complete waste of money, because I believe this cost £30, so it isn't like the cheapest of things that I got from HomeSense. But these are the characters that are in this little pumpkin. There is a witch, a pumpkin man, a ghost, and a black cat. Now, the first time I saw it, I just saw it from the back, and I knew I needed it because it had a ghost, a witch, and a pumpkin man. And then when I saw the cat, that was it. I pretty much freaked out. I needed it so bad. So here is a ghost. He has a very kind of pointed head, and he is kind of leaning over the side of this pumpkin, pointing at something. I suppose it's probably another ghost or maybe a trick-or-treater. He has a little orange bow around his neck and he's smiling. Now when he's kind of like this, you can't actually see the hole in his arm, but this is in about 5 different pieces, but there's still a hole there, and a little hole on the back, which is a shame, but as I said, it could have been a lot worse. His whole head could have fallen off or something, so I'm still pleased with the way it looks. I think he is a very, very cute little ghost. Now here is the witch, who I expected to be the one to break the easiest, so I'm glad she's all in one piece. She's a very happy looking witch. She kind of looks a bit like a young witch rather than an older witch, and I'm happy they've made her look pretty rather than being an ugly witch covered in warts and with green skin, because that's my least favourite type of witch. But she has lovely kind of brown curly hair. She's got this sort of grey, almost like green coloured dress on, which has stripes on the arms and stars on the skirt part, and she's wearing a black cape. And then to her side she has a broomstick which goes all the way to the top with these little tassely bits, and she's wearing a regular witch's hat with an orange ribbon around it. It doesn't have a buckle on it. I do kind of question why they put buckles on witches' hats, because do they, like, that kind of seems like a very inconvenient place to put a buckle. But she doesn't have a buckle. She has a ruffle instead going around her neck, and I'm just very pleased with all the detail in her. And then as we go along, we have this pumpkin man, and the more I look at this, the more it looks like he's in a straitjacket, because he's in a white jacket with his arms crossed, and he just like doesn't look okay. But anyway, he's got a little green collar on. He's a very happy pumpkin, saying that he's got a little stalk. He's very detailed, and I love his facial expression. And then coming to the side of this car, it has this little cat who's just got his arm on the side of the pumpkin, and he's just chill. He's just looking out at the people passing by. He's happy, and he is probably my favourite character in this pumpkin car. So going down to the cart part itself, it is in this pumpkin shape. It does have various artificial cracks and colours within it to give it a more realistic look. And then to the wheels, the bane of my life. This one is actually complete. This one didn't get damaged at all. But as you can see, this one has some cracks in it, and it's not quite all there, but I feel like it's not the worst fixie up job I've ever done, and from the front I don't think it looks too bad. Now I think this is such a nice piece. As you can see, at the bottom of it is just like solid black. It doesn't look as good from the bottom. I can hear a piece in there moving around. I'm gonna see if I can get that out later, because that's gonna be really annoying. And then I'm going to show it to you from the back, because the detail does continue onto the back. Honestly, this is so heavy. I feel like almost out of breath from trying to lift this up. But it's still got lots of details on the back. Now also you can probably see on that ghost and a little bit on the back of the witch, there's a few inconsistencies with the paint. So I'm probably going to end up going in with an acrylic paint and also sorting this out. I am already going to be like painting the wheels and things of this just to kind of cover up the cracks, and probably painting its hand and things. So I will be kind of going in with the paint anyway, so it's not like a massive inconvenience. But I just thought I'd let you know that in case you're buying this from store. I definitely not recommend buying this like from eBay or off someone who's going to ship it, because this lady, I cannot tell you enough, she wrapped it so amazingly. Like, it had so much bubble wrap. I think they must have dropped it just due to like where the damage was on this. So those are the two things that I got from HomeSense. As I said, they are slightly bigger items to what I'm normally showing you. I definitely need bigger items in here, because I definitely have tons of room for all of this. But I did also think while I'm here, I'm going to tell you a little story of what happened when I went into HomeSense to buy that wreath. Now, if you don't want to hear my story about HomeSense, thank you very much for watching. If it's standing where you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I'll see you next time. But if you do want to hear my story, this is my story. So I was in HomeSense and I was picking up a few things for other people. I've been shopping for people on Facebook recently, just because I feel like it's very unfair that HomeSense isn't like more thoroughly spread across the country. And as I picked up my third wreath, since I bought 3 of them, a lady in a lovely looking like suit combination, she stopped me and she was like, what do you think of the Halloween decorations? Because it was obvious of the fact that I was buying 1,000,001 of them. And I explained to her that I like help run some of the Halloween Facebook pages, and of course you guys are all here because of Halloween and spooky things. So I explained that to her, and suddenly, like, bear in mind, I hadn't brushed my hair in about 4 days. I had makeup like smudged all down my face. I had I actually had like a pajama t-shirt on. I was an absolute mess, and she was like, oh, come with me, and she like shook my hand and she took me up to all the other important people in the shop, and I had to go shake their hand. And it's almost like she thought I was like a Halloween celebrity, because I mean, I am the Halloween queen, so she probably realised that. Anyway, so she made me shake all these people's hands. She started giving me all these like, not exclusives, but she was telling me about how TKMAXX and HomeSense this year have spent the most they have ever spent on Halloween, which is very exciting. I know that they've got a lot more this year than they did last year. Also said they had 4 themes, but the only one I can remember is that they have a vintage theme, and then she said like cream colours or pumpkins, and I really didn't listen after she said vintage. I was just like, I need it all. But I thought I'd share that story with you just so that you know that HomeSense and TKMAXX are not done yet. There is hopefully more stuff to come, hopefully more things to buy, and hopefully our bank accounts will survive the next 2 months and a bit of the next month for the sales. So that is the end of my story time. I just wanted to share that with you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're feeling super spooky in September. If you do have any questions or comments, please do leave them down below. If it's sunny where you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I'll see you next time. Bye!